For 20 years, she never opened a single letter, not even on his birthday, not even on the anniversary of his death. She kept them all in a box he built, with hands that would never hold her again. Her husband was gone, but every year a letter still came. The first letter arrived exactly 1 year after the funeral. It was addressed in his handwriting, clean, careful, like he was still alive. She stared at it for hours, but her fingers wouldn't open it. Her heart whispered, "If I open it, it will mean he's truly gone." So she tucked it away, inside the box, with the silence. The second letter came, then the third, then the fourth. Always on the same day, always in his handwriting. Neighbors whispered, "Is someone playing a cruel joke?" But she never asked, she never told. She simply stacked them away, one by one, year after year, like pieces of a life she couldn't live anymore. He knew he was dying. That's why he wrote them, not out of denial, but out of love too big to end with a funeral. He spent the last 6 months of his life writing letters for the years he wouldn't be here. One for each anniversary. One for her birthday. One for when she would finally forgive herself. She thought it was just paper, just words written on old pages. But the box wasn't full of letters. It was full of birthdays he never got to wish her, anniversaries he missed, laughter he hoped she'd still find. She had locked the box, but in doing so, she had locked him away too. She never meant to read one, not even after all those years. But fate has its own fingers, and one day, a letter slipped. It fell from the box, floated down like a whisper, landed open, face up on the floor. She reached to pick it up, but when her eyes met the words, she couldn't look away. Her fingers shook, as if touching something sacred. She unfolded the page, and for the first time in 20 years, she heard his voice again. "My love, if you're reading this, it means life moved on. But I couldn't go with you. I hope you still smile. I hope you still drink too much tea. I hope you still remember how deeply I loved you." She didn't realize she was crying until her tears blurred the last words. She couldn't stop. One letter turned into 2, then 5, then 10. Each one was a conversation they never got to finish. "Remember the cafe where you spilled coffee on your dress? I loved you even more after that. You were never perfect. You were real. And you were mine." She read them all night. She read until the light changed, until the silence felt warm. They weren't just memories, they were instructions for living. If you're ever lonely, bake that banana bread, the one you always messed up. I promise it'll still taste like us. If you're scared, walk barefoot on the porch in the morning. Feel the cold. That means you're alive. He had imagined her sadness and left pieces of himself to hold her through it. There was one letter. She had always seen it, always skipped it, because the front said, "For when you forgive yourself." She had blamed herself for not noticing how sick he was, for not being able to stop the end. She had carried that guilt like a shadow sewn to her skin. But the letter waited, quiet, patient, like he always was. She opened it with both hands, as if it might break, but it didn't. Hey, you've punished yourself enough. You were never supposed to save me. You were just supposed to love me. And you did. Perfectly. So please, forgive the only person I never stopped loving. You. She couldn't breathe. Not because it hurt, but because it finally didn't. The last words of the letter told him, "The life you have turned your back on for so long, from today, that life will return to you." He opened the window. A cool breeze entered the room. The warmth of the sun mixed with the air. For the first time in a long time, he truly felt that life was still waiting for him. Raising his hand, he touched the small saris hanging in a corner of the room, and they began to dance in the wind. Life seemed to return to his eyes, and he felt the taste of living anew. She stepped outside for the first time in years. The air was crisp. Every breath felt like a gift. She realized life hadn't left her. She had left life. Her husband's words echoed in her heart. Live, love, forgive. And she took her first step forward. She began to remember the little joys, the taste of warm tea, the sound of birds singing, the softness of morning light on her skin. And with each moment, her heart grew lighter. She started writing letters of her own, not to him, but to herself, to heal, to hope, to open the door she had closed for so long. Days turned to weeks. She found joy in small things again. A phone call from a friend, a walk in the park, a smile that came unbidden. She reached out to family she had lost touch with, reconnected with laughter, found new reasons to live. 20 years of silence, broken by love's final promise. She finally opened her heart and found peace.